We maybe in the first couple years kept thinking beyond, let's say, a technical or operational problem that you're solving. If you think about what is the broader goal of Freight Tiger or any company for that matter, is ultimately there are people involved in any business, and in freight especially. On one hand, you have a shipper, and then the other end of that whole value chain is a truck owner and driver. And day to day, you see the difference in the working conditions and everything that happens. And what I thought was, we could build the best software, we could have the best customer success team, but at the end of the day, if a driver or a owner is not part of it, it's not going to allow you to accomplish what you set out to do, right? Because ultimately, the person that is delivering that order is the truck owner or driver. And if their experience is messed up, and if they are not happy, if they don't have the tools that they need, it's going to impact everything in our business. That on-time delivery I talked about. If the driver hasn't had proper sleep or food, or if he's sick, he's going to be delayed on that order. So we were fortunate where a few of our early customers not only thought through this with us, but also were willing to invest in it. And one of our customers had a project called Happy Driver, and their premise was the same. Ultimately, I will design the best supply chain, but once that material goes on a truck hired from the market and he has to deliver, what control do I have on it? I have very little control. And how do we ensure? Two things they said. When the driver comes to our manufacturing location to pick up material, their experience is the best. Maybe they have like an area to rest, or maybe they have washroom, or maybe they have food, like making that convenient and comfortable. And then a little bit of the product and actual supply chain part of it as well, where they don't have to wait too long to pick up the load. They're able to pick up the material fast and leave and all that. And they said when they go to deliver, the behavior of that driver is going to decide the final leg of that delivery experience. That's where this whole driver impact piece came about. And payments are broken in our ecosystem. Proof of delivery is physical. So if you drive digital literacy among drivers, then they can do more on the platform as well. It's not only the large companies of the world, but ultimately you want the driver owner also to equally participate. So the one impact piece then was around driver empowerment that came together very quickly. It makes business sense because that person is carrying the goods and they are delivering. Second is they're a very important stakeholder. And the other is we have this opportunity where we have hundreds of large companies from the country on the platform. And if we could get them invested in this and support this, you can make a much bigger impact than anyone else, almost. And part of that was not how it was designed, but it just serendipitously just so happened that you have this whole network you've built. Those customers also equally committed to making an impact in drivers' life. And then how do you bring this together? So part of the impact piece came together with the help of customers and we wanting to ensure that the transformation we want is done again end to end and with every stakeholder versus part of it. Otherwise, it won't be successful. So that was one. And second, naturally, today the other big piece is climate, where commercial vehicle industry, and if you look at just freight, in terms of carbon emissions and even particulate matter that gets released, they are heavy contributors. And every mile you reduce by optimization is the reduction in carbon. If, let's say, a particular customer used to travel 100 kilometers to make 5 deliveries, And if you gave them a better route and a dispatch plan, and instead of 100 kilometers, now they can still hit the 5 points in 90 kilometers, you've saved 10 kilometers that goes into it. If somebody traveled from Mumbai to Hyderabad and they don't have a return load to come from Hyderabad to Bombay, if you made that load available to them, then the truck is traveling less empty miles. Now, 10 million vehicles in the country, and imagine the number of kilometers they travel to make all these deliveries. And if you made that even a little better, it's a direct impact on reduction of carbon. And we felt we are sitting on top of all this network, and if we can enable that, it'll be terrific. And within that, before you even reduce this stuff, right? Before you even say I give you optimized plan or I'll reduce your empty miles, everyone today is even saying, how do I even measure my carbon footprint? How do I even know what it is? And it's not just about, if I'm a manufacturing company or a shipper, not only what my carbon footprint looks like, but now as the logistics service providers, they're hiring these trucks from the market. You have to measure it across the value chain. So we said, could we then play a role to measure that just for their transportation network to start with? And let's just build a baseline to say, this is what it looks like today. And then over the years, as you, through your software, product and services, if you could reduce that, then it's a direct impact. So broadly, driver empowerment, then digital literacy, where you get the drivers, owners into formal financial ecosystem. And the third is related to carbon reduction. Those just fit so well with our business, where it's not even something, it's literally like that customer delight versus, it's not something additionally you're doing, but it's core to what Freight Tiger does. And you're trying to infuse that again in every single activity and things that you do. So it came about through our own desire to do it, customers supporting us, some customers caring about it deeply, having enough champions, partners in the ecosystem to say will help. That's how it came about.